Welcome to Happy Hour Holidaze, your go-to podcast for business, entrepreneurship, and life stories. I'm your host, Manny Fresh. We got my co-host, Sean Febre. And in the studio today, we got a special guest. She is an entrepreneur for lashes, and she has a great beauty industry supply. We got Ashlynn Rae.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, Ashlynn, we're really excited. We've been trying to get you on, and now we got you on, so we're so happy to have you on here. So going back to where it first started for you with the lashes, tell us about how you got into the lash industry, what got you inspired to kind of start this successful business and grow this empire. Now you're teaching people how to do it. So give us a little bit of a backstory on it.
Sure. So I originally started out being a hairstylist. I went to cosmetology school. I worked at one of the best salons in South Tampa as a hair extension specialist. And, you know, back then, I got started in this industry 10 years ago, right? The lash industry. So back then it wasn't super popular. It was more so for like celebrities, like people, you know, movie stars, like we didn't know this little secret yet. So it started coming around a little bit. I had a lot of high clientele, you know, bougie women.
As soon as you said South Tampa, I was like, yo, I mean, I'm sure you dealt with some difficult people.
Yeah, difficult, but you know, they pay.
That's
that's what it's about. So I had a couple women ask me about lashes, and I really didn't know too much. I did know there was like one girl doing them. I think it was in Brandon, but as far as Tampa, there was like no one. So I was like, I'm going to call this girl, and I'm going to just talk about getting trained because I didn't want my clients going anywhere else. If I can learn this and I can make more money, why am I going to give that opportunity to somebody else? So I was like, I called this girl, and she's just like, you have no idea about this business. It's a complete gold mine. And I was like, you know what? All right. Why not? So I go, I get trained. I already had a couple of the women ready to be my models. And I mean, from there, just completely took off. It pretty much in like 6 months took over my entire like books. I wasn't doing any more hair. I was the only lash artist, so I had no competition, which was awesome. And honestly, the money you can make from it, like she was not lying. So from there on out, I was all in.
So how much can you typically make off of, say, the first appointment and then reoccurring appointments after their initial appointment?
So how it works is they come in for like a first full set, and that first full set can be anywhere from $165 to like $290. And that appointment's like 2 hours. So then they're coming back every 2 to 3 weeks. And their fill is like 90. It's like averages 100, 150 for a fill. And like if they come back, because if you don't, then you have to start all over with a $300, you know, service at the end with tip and everything. So, I mean, and they're so loyal. I have my first client I ever did eyelashes on from 10 years ago.
Wow.
And she's been coming back every 2 to 3 weeks, right?
Every 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow. So the whole goal is to build a book of business,
right?
And then just have that reoccurring revenue. So you also have other people that are under your employment, right?
Right.
So then you pass on your overflow to them, or then they build their own, or how does that work?
Yeah. So how that worked is I got to a point where I was completely booked out, right? And they say once you get to a point to where you can't take anymore, then you open up and you start feeding people to another person. And by then, like I said, I was doing lashes for so long that I had people coming in from all over. So I decided to open my own business and, you know, train people underneath me, and, you know, it benefits everybody.
Yeah. And then would you say, Ashlynn, that with social media and how everybody likes to post themselves and everything, that also kind of drew some more business? Because, I mean, social media has been exploding over time, but I mean, women, obviously, they want to look the best they can, and having the gorgeous lashes, you know, that also like really makes the pictures pop, man, their eyes pop.
Absolutely. I feel like social media plays a big part. Everyone wants to look their best.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to feel their best. And this is just a service that really, like, you can see women, it just boosts their confidence level. And once you have them and then you don't, I mean, you go from like a 2 to a 10 with lashes. So like when you go back down to a 2, you're like, okay, no, I'm going to get my lashes back. It doesn't matter if we're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had people like during COVID, you can't even leave your house.
Yeah,
And they don't want to feel like that from not having their lashes sitting alone.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
what did you do during that time, like during COVID, where, you know, it was kind of touchy-feely of people like going into places like that, being touched? Like, I mean, did you see a like, you know, a spike going down on your business, or was it kind of going up?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. No,
Absolutely not.
The opposite?
Absolutely. Yeah. It did not hurt. And I feel so fortunate, one, because I know a lot of people got affected, but we had to shut our doors down for 6 weeks. Like, you know, we had no choice. And I had women texting me, can I come to your house? Like, and then during that, I did worry because then everybody lost their lashes, right? And it is a luxury service. It's not cheap. So I knew, like, coming back, everybody's going to have to pay for a whole new full set. And with being off work for that long, I'm like, are people going to make it a priority? Like, it's the first thing that they're going to do when they're able to get out is go get their lashes done. And sure as shit,
They were there. Right?
I was so busy and everyone was paying. So it actually was fine because, yeah, we lost because we were closed. But as soon as we got back, we're doing all full sets. You know, we were making more than we would normally.
Yeah, because they couldn't maintain them, right? So they were like, oh, well, I got to get the $300, you know, again. So.
And I felt bad. I was like, you know, should I maybe just charge for a fill? Just gonna, you know, I had that, you want to hang on to it. You get worried. And I was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, you never know when money comes. You got to take the money when it comes to you, because, I mean, there's going to be some times where it might get tough. So, hey, I got to get the revenue, and it's unfortunate, but everybody else got hit with it. So, I mean, you're an affected business owner that had to come up from that. So when it comes back to the lashes, how do you pick the products? Is there like different quality of lashes when they choose which one they want? Like, do you have different products when it comes to the lashes, like brands or whatever that are better than others?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
My brand. That is the best.
Your brand.
That's what we use.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I developed my own product line.
Okay.
And how I started that was I just, it took me a year of just ordering samples and working with different manufacturers. There's a lot of different supplies that go into it. We have lashes, adhesives, iPads, tweezers. And it's not like you find one manufacturer and you're like,
This is it.
this is it.
Yeah.
The best tweezers come from like Pakistan. The best lashes come from Vietnam, you know, and within those places, there's a million to choose from. So it's really just being patient. And that's what I tell myself, like, just be patient, wait till you get the best stuff and put your name on it. So yeah, that's what we use at Ashlynn Rae.
So
Ashlynn Rae
from
Lashes.
start to finish, what would you say it took you to launch that brand? Because you had to pick out all the products. You had to wait for the products to come in before you can even start selling anything, right?
Right.
So you had to make sure you had your line established, and then, boom, let's advertise.
Yeah, I would say 2 years.
Oh, wow, that long.
Yeah, and I mean, it could be done quicker, but like I said, I really wanted it to be a luxury brand. I wanted to make sure every little product that I had, like, I was in love with. And I wasn't trying to rush the process. So, yeah, I took my time with it, and it definitely paid off. I'm really confident. And
do you see yourself having maybe a storefront, kind of like a Sally's Beauty Salon type storefront for just lashes?
So at my brick and mortar, my lash salon where we offer services, I do have a section where I have supplies there now. So lash artists can come and pick up their supplies. Hold on.
I gotta get this in. Cheers.
But that was also another reason why I wanted to get my own line was, you know, as a hairstylist, there's hair stores everywhere. I can get professional grade product if I have a last minute client, you know. But for the lash supplies, like you relied on shipping. You had to wait. So the lash industry is growing. There's lashes everywhere. There's lash artists everywhere in Tampa. And there's no place to go get lash supplies, good lash supplies.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple, but it's nothing great.
Yeah.
So
So that was one of your biggest challenges, like when you first started, it was trying to get the shipments in so you would always be filled to make sure that you could, do it on the clients, right?
Right.
Yeah. Was there any other like big challenges, kind of besides the shipping on getting the products to kind of get started with your own studio?
Oh man, just as far as the studio, just learning how to be a business owner.
Yeah.
I mean, that I think is the hardest part. And that's what I teach people now, lash artists that I train, is it's not really the skill, it's like the knowledge that you have to put in and you have to learn for. I can teach you all day long, and I can teach my employees underneath me how to do the skill of putting a lash on a lash, but they need to know how to run a business, customer service, mindset, everything that goes into being successful.
When it comes to the booths, like, where they sit down and they do their clients, is it like almost like a barber shop or like a hairstyle place where they kind of rent the booth to
I think it's like isn't it a table?
So
Or
it's like a bed.
whatever?
It's almost like a massage bed.
Okay.
And they lay down, their eyes are closed the whole time. But yes, like in mine, I do have 5 beds set up next to each other. They come in. But the people underneath me, so there's 2 different ways you can do this. There's booth rental stylist and commission-based stylist, which I do commission-based. So they use all my product. I supply clientele, I run the ads, and then they make commission in their tip. And then you can also go somewhere, rent a bed, and pay rent and pay for everything on your own.
Yeah.
Have you thought about maybe opening up a salon lofts type eyelash studio?
I
Kind of
have,
like that?
because that's definitely super hot right now. But
I mean,
Right.
salon lofts, if I'm not mistaken, essentially it's a beauty salon, but individual rooms with their own shampoo, whatever. But this would just be strictly for lashes, and people can just come in and rent, and then everybody's just paying you money like that
right,
way.
yeah, no, definitely, that is something that I've thought about for sure when we get there.
So are you guys going to open up more studios throughout Tampa Bay, or are you just focused on this one right now?
Right now, I'm just focused on this one. I have played around with opening studios in a lot of different places, but I think my passion is really more towards the education portion.
Yeah.
So what I'm focusing on now is just building successful lash artists, teaching them how to build really their own business. Right. Because the whole working underneath somebody, it's kind of fading out. Everyone wants to be their own boss. So you have to kind of follow the trend,
Yeah.
If that's what people are wanting, then I'm going to teach them
how to do it.
So is it a school that you're trying to open up, or is it more so an online course, or how is it that you're getting that information out there? Because if it's an online course, well, it's not just people in Tampa that you can train.
Right.
It's everybody in the United States that you can train.
Right.
Or the whole world, right?
Exactly.
Or the whole world.
Yeah, because I mean, the whole world's got Instagram and they all
Yeah.
want to look good on that.
No, yeah. So the first course, like actually learning how to put on lashes, I do an in-person training. I just think it's really important, and to have my name on it again, I just really want, if they're going to take my course, by the end of it, I want to know that they can lash. I want them to be confident. But there's everything's evolving, right? So is the lash industry, different styles, like different types of lashes. So with that part, then yes, like I'll do like an ebook or an online course that teaches them just how to get better with their skills. And then also just like a business ebook for lashes, a social media. How do you run your social media being a lash artist? There's so many different ways that I can do like ebooks. And that's actually what I'm working on right now.
Okay. And when do you see that launching?
Hopefully within the next month. I mean, we're pretty close to the end, but
It's like December 2024?
December, yes. This end of December, with the
Imagine
holidays.
if you finish it before Christmas and they gift it to somebody who wants to do this.
Look at you.
And then you could advertise it as a present to someone who maybe is leaving, high school and they don't want to go to college. Maybe they want to move out with their friend.
Right.
Something like that, and they want a steady stream of income, but they don't know how to get there.
Exactly. Well, it's hard because you can't just you have to have a license in Florida to be a lash artist.
Gotcha.
So one of the things I see is people come to me and they want to get trained, but you have to either be like a cosmetologist, an esthetician, which requires, I think it's like 1,200 hours for a cosmetologist. Like, it takes time.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, you can't just come get it trained for 2 days and then be able to be a lash artist.
So it does require you to go to cosmetology school, do that first, and then there's a separate certification for the lashes.
Right. So it changes for different states, but in Florida, yes, you do have to have a license. You have to be an esthetician, facial specialist, full specialist, or cosmetologist.
So another marketing idea would be to pivot and just target those individuals because they're going to be the quickest ones to be able to become certified, and you can certify them, correct?
Right. Correct. So
that makes it a lot easier. And hell, there's a lot of people doing hair out there. And when you say cosmetologist, you mean people that do hair,
right.
Essentially. Yeah.
Yes.
Because my wife's a cosmetologist, and she doesn't work at a salon anymore, but she got her lash certificate in like a week or two.
Right.
And I was like, holy cow, that was quick. But she never did anything with it.
She should.
I could definitely see a school that says Ashlynn Rae School of Lashes to learn how to do it. And then you just bring, like, charge them like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, isn't cosmetology school like maybe like 15, 20 grand?
Yeah, I paid like 15 grand on to Paul Mitchell. So
yeah, that's like the main one. So when we get back, we'll continue the story with Ashlynn Rae over here and talking about her products and her business. Stay tuned. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for listening. And welcome back to Happy Hour Holidaze. We got our special guest, Ashlynn Rae, in the studio right now. So, Ashlynn, a lot of people in the world, they want to start a business, but they're like, hey, I got a family, I got kids. How did you balance those two objects or things?
Yeah.
to be able to start a successful business? Because we know it takes 24/7 almost to start a business and be able to be the boss, to learn how to do the accounting, the taxes, all that kind of stuff. So how did you get the motivation? Like, was it motivational videos? But how did you get to this point? Balancing.
We were single when we did it.
Yeah, we were single when we did it. So I was like, man, I don't know how I could do it if I had my wife and then I had kids. It'd be tough. But I mean, you did it, and
yeah. No, I feel like anyone starting a business there's always going to be something that we could be like, well, it's going to be extra hard because I have this going on in my life. And for me, I'm like, you just got to use it. Like, use whatever issues or problems or struggles that you have, like use it to make your business and to get stronger. And that's what I did. That's my motivation. And honestly, I feel like having my family and having my kids just pushes me that much more. Like, it's definitely not a setback to me. And it's just figuring out balance, how to run a successful business, have time for my kids, be a good mom, not look like shit, be healthy, eat right. Like, how do you balance it? And to me, it just comes down to mindset and figuring it out.
What kind of mindset are we talking about here? Like a go get 'em tiger mindset, or I'm going to be a killer mindset?
Definitely, I'm going to be a killer mindset.
Yeah. But also a big important part of that, isn't it, to have an understanding partner and children that will support you while you're doing this? Because being a business owner, I'm sure there's highs and lows.
Yes.
There's days where you wake up, you're thinking to yourself, holy shit, this is it. I'm done. It's over.
Yes.
I give up. And then there's other days where you're like, holy fuck, I made it.
The world.
Yeah. And then an hour later, it's back down to, I don't know why the fuck I do this anymore.
And that's just how it is. And I feel like that's something I've just gotten used to. And now I'm aware of it, right? So it's like you have a goal and you get there and you're crushing it. And then you're like, all right, well, what's the next goal? And then comes like all the things it takes to reach the next goal. It's like you're at ground like zero again. You're like, where do I start? I have to learn all this new stuff. And it's highs and lows. But like you said, definitely, my partner, I've been in a relationship now with my boyfriend, Gino, for 5 years, and he actually helps me a lot with my business and my kids. I mean, they're all my number one fans and biggest supporters, and it's just, they make it easy. they get it, and they get that they see how bad I want this, and they believe in me 100%, which I think makes all the difference in the world, having, a whole team behind you every day.
Yeah, the biggest thing is, I mean, going back to like you were telling us off air that you got pregnant in high school,
Right.
And I mean, that's one of the biggest things to try to get through is to have a baby that early and still be successful. What can you tell those moms out there that, have a situation where they got pregnant early on, but they have a passion for something and they really want to be successful? I mean, how do you get through that part? Because I mean, I didn't really mature until I was 25, almost 30 nowadays,
Right.
according to my wife. But I mean, like thinking of that, like 16 or 17, where we're just kind of figuring out emotions, learning who we are, learning how to love and laugh. And, how did you get through that portion of it? Because besides, having a family later on, I mean, you had a family early on and you still became, a successful entrepreneur that built an empire in the lash industry.
Yeah. How many kids did you have at the time also?
So I had my first son. I got pregnant at the end of my junior year. So I came back my senior year pregnant, and then ended up having him in January and went back to school and graduated. Let me tell you, honestly, he saved my life. To starting out my senior year, I mean, before that, when I got pregnant, I was crazy. I was doing drugs and partying. I did not care about school. I started my senior year with like a 1.3. Like,
oh, fuck.
Yeah, there was literally like no chance. I thought, well, I got pregnant, and it was just, it really did change my life. Like, he saved my life 100%. I do think everything happens for a reason, and I'm thankful for getting pregnant that young. I decided to get my act together. I got an impact. It was a class at Sickles where I had to make up all these credits. And honestly, if I didn't get pregnant, I probably wouldn't have graduated. Like, that's what made me turn, my life around. And it is crazy because right now my son is 16, right? The age that I was at when I got pregnant. So when I look at him and he's such a baby, he's a child, and I think, man, I was in charge of someone's life.
At that age.
Like, it's terrifying. Like, it's crazier now looking back, being this age than it was being 16. Because you think you know everything.
Yeah, and we didn't know shit, that's for sure. But,
yeah.
I mean, I was in that same boat, partying and doing drugs and not giving a shit about really school. I mean, I graduated with a solid 2.2,
I graduated with a 4.7.
Wow.
Okay. It's all clap for
Good job. Go fuck yourself. But no, yeah, I mean, and it's the toughest thing to build a business. I mean, me and my brother saw it. I mean, 24/7, and you experienced it, but that balance is just like, I just got to give you the most congratulations, because a lot of people would have either given up or, at least worked a job, but you actually did something incredible, started your own brand, which is unbelievable. And, do you see the model of your brand possibly kind of being sort of close to like Mary Kay in that kind of aspect, where you could have people selling your products to other studios maybe across the the nation?
I think like that. I think right now, I feel like social media is so huge that when it comes to actually one person having to go around and push your product on people, I mean, that does help. But I feel like with this day and age, really focusing on branding yourself, people, they want to connect with you over your social media, and once they get to know they're buying you. They're not buying your product. So for me, I feel like if I build that up enough, then people will come to me.
Well, you know what else you could do? You can have an affiliate program. You can get these social media influencers to sell your beauty product, and then you just give them a portion of that commission for every sale that they make. So let's say you just mark it up 20%, you give them 20%, but maybe they have millions of followers, and then they're essentially salespeople for you on social media. So you should probably look into an affiliate program to where it's automatically set up. They sign up, they start pushing your product, and they get paid automatically. And all you have to do is ship the product. Maybe even drop ship if that's even a possibility.
No. Yeah, that's a really good idea, and I have thought about too. The people who I train, they'll use my product. They're gonna have a social media, so if they show my product online, market it for me, they get a discount off their products that they're using for their everyday clients too. So on my website, I just rebuilt it. It's going to be launching in like 2 weeks, where they can become part of like a VIP club where they get different perks. But they also, like, if they do want to get discounts, they do have to make this many videos using my product, yelling my name. So
have you thought about maybe paying some of these high, powerful influencers, like the ones that have 2.3 million or something like that, just to try it out, just one product?
See, this is where it
And make
gets a
sure
little hard.
you verify that their followers are and their engagement is there, because some people have 100,000 followers, but 3 people like their video. Nobody's really looking at it.
The thing is, this product, only professionals can use it. So my products are made for professional lash artists, right? And people are making their own brands. So if they're that big and have that many followers, they probably have their own brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard finding influencers because it's different. It's not like I can get someone who, just a random person who has a lot of followers who wants to try my really good makeup foundation that anybody can use. And you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, they have to
sure.
actually be a lash artist to be able to market my stuff.
Gotcha. And then besides the lashes, what else did you kind of dabble in as far as your studio? Is there other things that you do besides the lashes as well?
So I have one girl there that does specialize in brow lamination, but it's mainly lashes.
Well, for you.
I just want to like dominate the lash industry.
Yeah,
So I did, I was a cosmetologist, so I did do hair.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot going on. I feel like you have to pick something and
you got to kind of
get really good at.
Well, it's the riches are in the niches.
Yeah,
right?
That's what they say.
So when this one's a pretty new industry, right, Ashlynn? It's not like something that's been around forever. What is there like expos, or how do you stay up to date with the latest advancements in this industry?
God, ChatGPT is crushing it today,
I know,
dog.
it's like,
we're gonna
I'm
cut that
nervous.
out. What the fuck,
What's
bro?
next? Wait, what did you just ask me?
Yeah, so how do you find the latest like developments and advancements in the lash industry? Because it's still brand new. So do they have like expos in different cities that you
Absolutely.
go to, and either you set up a booth or you just kind of see other people that are doing the same thing you are doing?
Yes. So before I actually launched my business, I went to my first expo. It's called Premiere. It's in Orlando, and it's for the beauty business in general. So hairstylist, lashes, nail, everything. So I went there. I didn't even have a website, and it was coming up, and I'm like, I gotta go. So I bought a couple boards that light up, and I took on my product, and people are coming up to me, and I'm like, I don't have a website, but I have really good product, and I just want to meet all you guys and be able to put my name out there. And I did what I could, and it's crazy because I got so many customers just from that. I mean, literally, I had an Instagram, I gave them an email, and I sold a lot of product there, which is great to get. That was the first place that I got it out there. And they were texting me and emailing me, telling me how great it was. And I was so glad that I went. But no, definitely staying up to date, going to those. They have one now that's a Lash Con, so it's specifically for lashes. So we're going to be going to that.
Awesome.
Where's that at?
I don't even know. They have them all over.
Yeah.
Just Lash Con in general. Like, they have them at different times. And
I was thinking
move around.
Vegas too.
Yeah, I was thinking
Definitely,
Vegas.
there's always some
in Vegas.
in Vegas, yeah. In Orlando too. So, I mean, they're all over.
So you did say that you made a huge impact on your product line just by going to that one convention. Wouldn't it make sense to maybe go to the Georgia convention, the New York convention, the California convention, the Vegas convention, if they're in those states, in order to just expedite your growth?
Yes, and that's definitely something that is on my list.
And it's a tax write-off.
Yeah. No, and I love it. Just going and putting your name out there and really just building, my name in the lash industry, that's a must. But there's so many different avenues, and that's something that I'm trying to navigate. I mean, yeah, I feel like I've come far, but there's so much farther to go.
No, I just think a wholesale supplier just of Ashlynn Rae, the product, just, shipping that out like on a daily basis would be massive because, I mean, you said it took 2 years to find the best lashes that you felt like, hey, I'm going to stamp my name on this. I'm going to stand behind this product. So I'm just thinking, man,
That's R&D.
Yeah, research and development that you had to do. But just to freaking be able to wholesale a shit ton of this product to all these people that do have lashes. Do the majority of the people that have studios also have their own brand, or do they kind of just pick the best products?
No, they just pick the best products, and that's really who I target.
Yeah.
To buy my product, and also which actually came from that premiere Orlando, that show that I was just saying that I went to. There was actually someone who came up to me from Salon Centric. So there's like 2 professional supply stores around here where you can get like professional hair product. Like you have to have a license to get the product. There's Cosmoprof and there is Salon Centric. And a lady came up to me and told me that they were looking for brands to sell like in their stores on their website. So that was like a huge deal that I got. And like I said, not even having a website. And now they're selling my product on this store to professionals. I mean, Redken, Paul Mitchell, like those are the products that they're selling, and now I'm in there too.
And what's the product line called?
My product line?
Yes.
Ashlynn Rae Lashes.
Yeah.
Ashlynn Rae Lashes. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big accomplishment.
What's the biggest one in the nation?
The biggest lash brand?
No. The biggest licensed cosmetology dealer. Is that what you called it?
Those are the 2. There's
in the entire nation?
And it's Cosmoprof and it's Salon Centric. Salon Centric.
Are they selling it just in Florida, or are they selling it throughout the entire nation as well?
They're selling it online. So it takes 2 years. You have to be online before you can actually have a sit down and talk to someone about getting in every store, because they have over 50 stores just, in Florida. So you have to be able to have enough product to supply every store in every state. So
do they allow you to promote within their platform? Kind of like how Amazon has sponsored products. Do they do the same thing as well?
They do. They email us. They have different ways that we can promote, and we take every.
Have you tried that or?
No, yeah, and that's where I get most of my sales from, honestly, first starting out before I got my name out there, was from them, and just being able to use that platform and say, hey, if Salon Centric trusts my quality to sell my stuff to all their professionals, across the world, then it just made other people trust my product that much more. And I know once they try it.
When you first started your studio and you were like one of the only people doing the lashes, and then you brought in other people after you certified them.
Right.
How did you get people to trust, or clients to trust the people that were in there besides you? Like
that's hard.
Yeah, right. Because I'm thinking, like, when I get my haircut, I'm like, man, I don't know if I trust anybody else. If he was like, hey, you got to get your haircut by this guy, I'd trust him. So
he's lying, Brian.
I love you, Brian. But so how did you do that, Ashlynn? Like, how did you tell him, hey, this person's also good. Mm-hmm. They can do the same job that I can. Maybe they can't, but I mean, you're gonna get employ that confidence.
Yes.
So how did you do that when you started like giving the leads to your other employees and going?
So I still do take some clients that I'm trying to veer away from that. But that is like the hardest part, is getting those clients to trust other people. And honestly, it comes down to when people can't get in with me, that's your only option, because no one is like gonna be like, sure, I'll try this person, and not unless they absolutely have to. And once they do, they're good, and they know if there's any issues, I let them know that I'll be there to make it right. But really, it's just getting all the new people that we, I don't take new clients. So every client that we do have coming in, I do give to my girls. I'm trying to build their books now. So
you're pretty much slam packed your schedule as far as like clientele. You can't, at this point, you can't really take on any other people.
Oh no, I'm not accepting clientele. And I have my clients, they're booked till forever, literally.
Wow.
They come every 2 weeks, and it's a standing appointment, and if they miss their appointment, then they're going to have to see one of my employees, and which is good because they can see that they can go to somebody else. But
yeah. When we get back on Happy Hour Holidays, we're going to continue with Ashlynn Rae and kind of talk to her a little bit more about the lash industry and how she built such a successful empire within Tampa Bay. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're here at Happy Hour Holidays getting a hamburger. Just kidding. Just drinking a couple White Claws. And we're here with Ashlynn Rae. And, Ashlynn, so what would you tell somebody? I know you're going out educating a lot of people, getting them certified. What would you tell somebody who's interested in being in the lash industry? How do you start your business? What can you tell them as far as advice to getting into this?
So advice, I feel like you need to make your mind up before going into it. There's a lot of money to be made in this industry, but you have to be all in. So number one, you have to make your mind up to show up every single day. And from then on out, it's just learning. It's just devoting time every day to growing in every area. So showing up, the hardest part for me, like I said before, is teaching someone how to grow and be successful. It's not actually putting lashes on. It takes, you have to show up every single day and be excited even if nothing happens. You have to be there. Nothing's going to happen if you're sitting at home, wanting everything to fall into place. So it's getting people to wake up, go, even though you don't have any clients, practice your craft, get really good at what you do. You want to be the best at what you do, right?
Sure.
That's how you get known. And from then on out, learning, it's always evolving. So it's not something that you just reach a certain point and you're like, oh, I'm a successful lash artist. No, it's changing. And if you get there and you just get lazy and you don't want to be figuring out what the new trends are, the new products, then everyone's going to fly right past you. So it's just having that mentality of wanting to grow and wanting to be successful and wanting to be the best, and just keeping that mindset every single day. I think is the most important part to trying to be, a successful lash artist.
And that's something that's very difficult, is being consistent. A lot of people struggle with being consistent. They hate that they have to do this every single day. Sometimes you may have to do it 7 days a week for 12 months in a row.
Right.
But that is something that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, because they think that they see somebody on TikTok or Instagram and, oh, this just happened overnight. It's like the worst mentality you could potentially have is just to assume that it's going to happen to you as quickly as possible. It's not.
Exactly.
And you also have to be passionate about it. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, you're most likely going to fail.
Exactly. You have to love it, and you have to want it. Like, you have to have, grit. And too, like you were saying, comparing yourself and seeing all these other people doing it, it's easy to compare yourself and get caught up. Like, these days, everyone wants authentic, right? Like, you have to be your authentic self and do it your way. You can see what other people are doing, but put a little twist on it. But no, everyone can tell when you're being fake. Nobody wants that at all. So just being truly authentic to you and your brand. Everyone's going to do everything a little differently, but it's even happened to me where I'll see people who I think, they're doing a little better than me. Maybe I should kind of start doing what they're doing. But when I try and do that, it doesn't come off authentic. I get lost because it's not me, it's not real. So now I have to reel it back in. Like, what do I stand for? What do I want? What's my vibe? And listen to myself rather than try and compare myself to all these other people.
Yeah, and I was thinking, we were talking about kind of where you were saying, hey, I'm going to teach people how to be able to do the lashes and, open up their own business. And I asked you, well, what about if they're competing against you? And you're like, I'm welcome to open competition. So going back to that, you feel like there's plenty of business to go around overall when it comes to the lash business here, since it's early on, because you are teaching people how to open up their business, do the lashes and stuff like that.
I feel like everyone's not for everyone. You know what I mean? So you're going to have people who feel connected to you, want to buy your product because they believe in what you're saying. And of course, yeah, you have good products, but you might not connect with other people. There are so many people in this world. Like, there's enough people to go around, and you can't think of it like that.
Yeah.
You know, I love what I do. I love helping people. I love having a female come in and just hyping them up and seeing that they, you know, they're realizing that they can do it and just watch them grow. Like, that's the best thing ever, to be like, I had a part in that. Like, she's killing it right now.
Yeah.
And when she came in here, she was like, walked in with her head like hanging down, like had no confidence.
And now all of a sudden she
went from a 2 to a 10.
Yeah.
That's a
Well,
callback.
no, wait. If you own your own business, you're a 20.
Yeah.
You skipped over 10.
With and without lashes. No, but that's what I focus on more than the competition, because there's just so many. Money just comes if you just do what you love every day and don't get distracted by the noise or the competition or other people. It just works.
What would you say is the best part of owning that business? What's your favorite part? Is it doing the social media? Is it teaching the people? Is it actually doing the lashes? Is it going to those conventions? What would you say is your favorite part?
My favorite part now, I would say, is teaching other lash artists. I love the whole concept of lashes and the lash industry altogether, because really all of it's all making women feel more confident, right? If it's for the clients coming to get lashes, you know, they're coming in and it's like that instant gratification. Like, as soon as they get up 2 hours later, like, oh my God, it feels so, you know, so you get to see that. It's cool. And then you have lash artists that come in that don't know a thing, and they're like, why the hell did I pay for this course? Like, I suck at this. And then a week later, they're like, all right, maybe it's not so bad. And then, you know, they have full clientele and they're texting you like, oh my God, thank you so much. I'm making $100K a year. Like,
Damn.
yeah, my first year I was making $100K doing
Wow.
lashes. And that's when I was like, this is possible.
Yeah, because I saw on your website, you're like, hey, you know, if you sign up here, you get, you know, I could tell you how to make 6 figures doing this. So is there anybody you have in particular that you kind of groomed yourself, you know, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so proud of this person. You know, I taught them and now they actually had the motivation, they worked through it, and now they're here and I'm so proud of them.
Yeah, I mean, one of the girls in my studio, a lot of them came in with I was like, so I'm opening this lash bar, but you have to be licensed. So, like, do you want to go to school? Do you want to pay to go be an esthetician and then come work for me? I mean, that's a big commitment.
Oh yeah.
They're in a totally different field, and they're trusting me with that. So I took that super seriously. And those were the first girls, you know, before I opened this, that I actually mentored and trained. And now they're doing the same thing, you know, and within a year, they're doing the same thing that I did in a year. And it's just, I'm like obsessed with that transformation, like seeing people just feeling on top of the world. And, you know, we all get inspired by something.
Yeah.
Someone, a video. I feel like, I think I've said it before, but it was like Jay-Z or something. And he's just like, anyone can be a millionaire. You know, I Googled, how do you be a millionaire?
Yeah, be a millionaire.
Like, I'm just curious. Can I make this happen?
$83,333 a month.
Yeah, I know. But I needed someone to be like, listen, it doesn't matter where you came from. Like,
Yeah.
I needed a little more confidence. That's where I was at, what I needed to make my change and be like, this, you know, I want more.
What was that video or that moment of inspiration that you just like froze and was like, yo, I think I got something here. And now I'm ready today to make that change, to have my own studio, to do this, to get to this point. Like, what was that moment? Like the aha moment where you're like, this is it.
Yeah, well, it was actually, I already had my studio.
Yeah.
But it's when I wanted to develop my own brand and start doing education and take it to a whole new level. And I think it was a Jay-Z video. And I was
Damn,
serious.
Back to Jay-Z.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Just join the Illuminati. You'd be good.
You know, no, he was just like, I think it was more about anyone can do it, like being their authentic self. Because I think for me, I always thought I had to prove something because I had kids so young. I was always trying to like live up to like someone else's standard. And I remember he said something, and it's like, just own yourself and trust yourself in the process, and don't change. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm in the room with, like, the president or lawyers or people a lot smarter
Or
or
Jay-Z.
not, or Jesus or Jay-Z.
Jay-Z or Jay-Z.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not going to change my tone or the way I talk or, like, for anyone. If you can walk into a room with anybody in it and be your true, authentic self, that's when you truly feel, like, powerful.
It's priceless.
That's it's funny you say that, because the episode we're releasing today or Thursday with Gina Pena, she's a
Dr. Love.
Dr. Love from
Ooh.
1025 The Bone, Bubba the Love Sponge.
Yeah.
She is saying the exact same thing you said about being authentic, about being yourself. And what she was stating was that when people are not authentic and they may be in a room with people they don't know and they try to become somebody else, that leads to anxiety, which leads to depression. If you have a don't give a fuck mentality,
Literally.
that is the best way to live. And
Amen.
you just cannot care about what people think.
And once you start living that, it's like you have to work towards it. Your mind is like programmed, right? So it's also like reprogramming your mind and rewiring how you think and just being aware, like, okay, I'm going to go in here, and you start noticing yourself getting nervous and trying to look smart or rich or, whatever it is that you feel like you have to look for or look like and to impress other people. And finally, you do get to that point, and it's the best point ever, like, fuck it. And then you realize, shit, everyone loves me way more now when they actually get to know me than me putting on this persona, like, I want to please everybody.
I think when it happens is when you turn, I think 25, man. Because like from 18 to 25, you give a shit about what people think. 25 to like 30, you're kind of getting over it. And then at 30, you're like, fuck it,
Dirty 30.
Dirty 30.
It's a great thing.
Unless you just matured really quickly, because a lot of people do care what people think, especially everybody that you see on the internet that's posting shit. They're like taking pictures of themselves, and then 2 minutes later they delete it because they got 3 likes.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
But I think you, Ashlynn, had to mature a lot quicker just because you had a child so early on that you were just like, hey, I got to fucking get focused right now. Like, I don't have time to fucking
I'll be honest with you. I went through it.
Yeah, you went through it, yeah.
We talked about me getting, pregnant in high school. I had my second son 2 years later. They're 21 months apart. So 16 and 19 years old. I had 2 kids by the time I was 19. And it's just, I don't know. It got me. Like, it wasn't just all rainbows and butterflies. Like, oh, I got to do this. I went through some shit. And I think that's also what made me stronger. Their dad actually went to prison for 6 years, right? My 2 oldest, their dad. And that's when I think I started to really, like...
Kind of falls on you, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a weird spot to be in because I'm like, I'm trying to fill this void that I can't fill because I'm not their dad. And I'm watching my kids suffer, and... starting to feel depressed, and I put that on me like it's my fault. And I did. I went through depression. I struggled with anxiety my whole life. And honestly, the one thing that changed that around was learning more about like mindset and how the mind works and why people think the way that they do and how to change that, right? Like first, like being aware of how you feel because people are on autopilot. So you wake up every day and you're doing the same shit. So you're stressed out. So, a lot of people, you think of them and you're like, oh, well, they're always in a shitty mood. That's how they are. And they can't change that until they decide they want to and they become aware. So I started becoming aware of how I was being. Well, I'm being really depressed right now. I'm being like really negative. And once I started realizing this is how I'm being, then I would try and change it around. And it was every day I had to work on it. Like, I'm not going to be in that depressed mood. I'll listen to something motivational. I'll change my energy, change the way I'm feeling. And then you start to form a habit, feeling and thinking like that. And then it becomes the way that you are. But it definitely was a long struggle from feeling depressed no one believes me. I had a kid when I was this young. Like, I'm never going to be successful, to working every single day to change my mindset and change the way I viewed myself to being like that every single day.
Yeah, one of the hardest things to do is to get rid of that negative self-talk.
Yeah.
Because that negative self-talk, all it's doing is bringing you down. And it's making you believe what it's telling you.
Yeah, and everything just grows. Like, if you're feeling like really great and you're killing life, like that's going to gain momentum, right? But like, if you're being super negative, it goes in the opposite way. That's going to gain momentum.
It also affects everybody else. Like I've noticed that, like if you're negative, everybody around you starts to feed off that negativity,
Oh, yeah.
and then it affects your whole, circle that you're around. So you tell yourself, hey, I'm the leader. Let me be positive. Everybody else around me is going to start feeding off that positivity, and they're going to change for the better. So you got to look at yourself and just say, hey, I'm the leader in my circle. Let me go ahead and make the change and take inventory of myself and everybody around me and know who's the best person. That wasn't ChatGPT. That was Dr. Love.
That was Dr. Love. Yeah, that's right.
I like that.
Yeah.
No, it's so true, though. It's all the difference in the world.
So Ashlynn, we just want to tell you, we really appreciate you coming on, man. It was awesome having you on and hearing your success story. What can you tell the audience out there who, they're trying to get a business started? They got family, everything. I mean, what are your final words overall, just in business, entrepreneurship, and what you experienced? Just kind of tell the audience what you feeling.
So I feel like entrepreneurship and being successful, it's not something that's chosen for specific people to choose, right? So like if that's what you want to be, you have to make that choice, and it is going to be hard. So you either, make the choice, be all in, you can do it, doesn't matter. Your backstory, we've all gone through, struggles and hard times, but success can be for everyone and anyone. So if you feel the feeling and you want to start a business, just do it. Just get started and just keep going. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, every single step, you think about it, and when you start a business, every single step that you do is, you don't have to go all in 1 to 100, but every day that you make a change and you bring that positivity to the circle around you, you're gonna end up being good. So, we really appreciate Ashlynn being on.
Yes, it's been so fun.
Thank
you for having me.
Yeah, we want you on again. We want you to bring on a couple of the people that you mentored when we were talking off air.
Absolutely.
To hear about their experience and everything. There's a lot of people out there that are going through struggles, but they overcome them and they become successful. And we want those people on here. We want to hear your story on how you became successful as an entrepreneur, because it's not easy. It's 24/7 to become the best of the best. And that's what everybody wants to be when they're listening to motivational videos. They're trying to be on top of their game. So thank you for listening to Happy Hour Holidaze. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our Instagram. We got a ton of great reels and audio from our man right there, Sean Febre.
Also, also check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're on iTunes, Audible. We're on Amazon Music. We're everywhere you can listen to a podcast. So if you can't watch us, you could always listen to us.
But always like, comment, and subscribe. We need those subscribers to keep growing this channel and keep bringing on great guests like Ashlynn Rae.
Yes.
We need those followers, so continue to follow our channel. We're going to continue to grow. We're not stopping. She's not stopping. And we're going to continue to grow this channel to the best of our ability. Thank you again. And
cheers.
Cheers and peace.
Cheers.